Hi there, it's Reika Kovasin here, and we're making some eggs in about 5 minutes. So if you are already here, please say that if you can see and hear me. So I'll know that everything is, maybe I should actually move something so you know that it's not just screen is locked or something. Frozen, that's the word. Hi Wendy! Hi Antonio! Hi Kanika! Hello! Thank you so much for joining in. Hi there! Let me just plug the heat gun in. Here we go. Yes, I'm fine. Perfect. Thank you. The same as always. Hi Rosa! If you have any questions during the show, I'll try my best to check the screen every now and then. But afterwards, I'll then answer any questions, and Sharon should be here to help out. Hey Johanna! Kiva kuulla, että paketti tuli perille. Yay! So Sharon should be here to help out as well if you have any questions. So we'll be making some eggs using the Opal Magic products, some others as well, but mainly I wanted to share about the Opal Magic line. They are perfect and pearly. Hey Mari! For kind of light color projects, but work on black as well. And once again, I'm sorry about the how the image seems. I'm totally baffled what's happening with the camera because it looks fine on the computer when I run it through the program, but when I run it to the Facebook, it starts to get smudgy. But usually the close-ups work better. So this is one of the eggs. And here's another one. And the third one. I made these little stands out of paper roll to get me some I have no idea what to call them. Well, to paint them on, so I don't need to do this because I painted these eggs on my hands, and the end result was that I was all Opal Magic and pearly, which is not a bad thing. Hey Saila! Hi Karina! Thank you so much everybody for joining in. Yes, these are plastic eggs, like craft eggs, not real ones. Naturally, if you want, you can empty real eggs and use the eggshells, but then you really need to be careful because with these I can do this and it doesn't break, but using an actual egg you need to be so much more careful with those. So it's 9, so I guess we are ready to start. Let me just check if Sharon is here. Well, I hope she'll be sooner or later, but if you have any questions, please just post them to the comments and I'll go through them after the show. So once again, hi, it's Reika Kovasin from Finland here. And once again, sorry about the video quality. I'm not sure what it is. Maybe I should get a new webcam. But today we're going to make some little Easter eggs. but naturally you can use the same techniques in other sorts of projects as well. Before making the eggs, just a few words about the Opal Magic ones, because they are quite fun. For example, I've used the Opal Magic ones, like the paints and the waxes, in these eggs, but also on this horse, which I made like years ago, and the look is totally different. On top of black, they seem more vibrant than on top of white. There is a slight difference between the kind of older Opal Magic products and the newer ones, because this one is from the older line. As you can see, the color is not that vibrant, but with the new, the color on top of white is actually quite vibrant as well. And the same applies to paints, to mica powder, and to waxes. Everything that has the Opal Magic one, they react the same. So I made a little swatch with white gesso on the left and black gesso on the right. So if I take some of the wax, this is the blue velvet, on top of white, you can't really see, it's just the shine, but oh gosh, on top of black, then you can see the color. It's the blue one. So on top of white, it's just kind of this opal pearly effect, but on top of white, black, sorry, I get confused, then it's the true color. Same happens with the paints. Or let's try the mica first, as I happen to grab it. Let's see. Just some water for powder to stick. You would need a gel to it actually adhere, because in Finnabar line the mica is just pure mica, there's no adhesive added. But to show you how it reacts, that works just with water. As you can see, the same thing on top of white, just the perfect shine. Can you even see the shine? And on top of black, it's the purple one. Then once more with the Opal Magic paints, if I can get them open. Let's try the other one. Yes, this one opened. And this one is violet green. So on top of white, again, just a hint of green shine. And on top of black, it's the violet. And like I said, with the newer line of Opal Magic paints, it's a bit different, because, for example, the pink egg is painted with one of the pink ones. It's the coral teal. And as you can see, on top of white, because the color you see in the jar is the same color as it is on top of white. It's quite pigmented already, so it will be pink, but on top of black, it changes to teal. So it's kind of fun two-tone effect for the Opal Magic ones. More drastic, maybe, with the newer line of the paints, but also the effect with the former or the mica powder or the wax is quite cool, because it's kind of, you're getting two products in the price of one. So let's start with the actual eggs. Let me get the thing to be used to paint the egg. And let's do this one first, or actually parts of it. What I did with all the eggs is to first paint them with acrylic paint metallic white pearl to get them a little shiny effect. Just clean the brush first. And as these craft eggs that I'm using are already white, so it's just a quick layer of paint. Oh, sorry. I moved the egg too close to myself so you can't see. Kulta, voisitte tuoda mulle tommosen jonkun paperin, minkä tahansa esitteen tai jonkun mainoksen tai jonkun paperin vaan. Like this. Then my trusty assistant, aka my husband, will bring me paper. Thank you, darling. Oh gosh. I need some space. Here we go. Sorry about the advert. I totally forgot about some kind of piece of paper to be used here, because as the paint is still wet and it's acrylic paint, so it works as adhesive as well, so no need to add anything extra. I'm just sprinkling the glitter on top and then let it dry. As you perfectly know that every time you add glitter, there's kind of glitter everywhere. So if you're not a glittery person, that might not be your thing, but it really gives a lovely effect to the egg. Really great shine. And then let's let that one dry for a while, as I have all the other eggs already colored. And let's do the shapes that are visible in almost every egg. They are made with the new Finnabar molds and just hot glue. So let me grab my glue gun, and there's now not that big of a magic to it. I'm just using hot glue and pushing it to the mold. If you want to avoid any air bubbles, one trick is to heat the mold beforehand. So when you add the hot glue to the hot mold, that probably will help that the glue will spread more evenly. But also it's sometimes a fun effect to get some air bubbles in there. And if those really bother you, it's hot glue. So you can just take your heat gun and melt it again. Let's do one more. So it's just glue gun to the mold. And then you need to let them cool. If you want to kind of hurry the process up, then you can stick these into the freezer, and then the glue will set a bit faster, but it doesn't take that much time even to cool naturally. Let me put these aside because, well, like I said, it doesn't take that much time, but still I don't want to burn my fingers trying to get them out too fast. So I prepared some beforehand. And these are just made, let me see if I can show you, with the molds. They are really detailed. Come on, focus to the flower. But, well, they are ugly the way they are. But with a little bit of paint, they become more pretty. So let me close this one. And let's do the one that's a bit different from the others, which is in this egg. As you can see, in this and this one, the flower is shiny because it's done with the Opal Magic ones, which have the pearly shine. But in this one, it's matte. And what I did with that flower is just that I mixed white gesso with the Opal Magic paint. So I painted the flower with white gesso, and before it managed to dry completely, here we go, I added some of the Opal Magic to the mix. So the white gesso kind of mixes with the pearly paint and makes it matte instead of really, really shiny. What you need to remember when you're doing embellishments using hot glue is that, well, it's hot glue. So if you add heat on top, you want to dry your project. If you're an impatient crafter like I am, then you need to be careful not to ruin your embellishment with the heat gun. So it's probably safer to let it air dry, or then the other option is to give the embellishments a coat of gesso, for example, or some paint, because usually that hinders the heat from the heat gun a bit. Not, well, if you're really, really using the heat gun and trying to even boil mediums, then it won't work, but it usually takes the worst edge off. So let's do this one ready. I think the layer is more or less dried already. So here I attached some of the crystal art pebbles and also the hot glue element just with icing paste. It really holds like small items on its own. You can't use it to glue or adhere heavy, for example, metal embellishments. I wouldn't recommend that. But this is just with icing paste and it sticks. It's an acrylic based product, so that's kind of giving you more. Naturally, it's a beautiful product, so why would you use it to adhere? But it's kind of, you don't need two products. One for the pearly kind of effect, and second for the adhering things, but you can do it with just one. But if you're doing a big composition or a canvas, then please use gel medium, not the pretty stuff that's going to be kind of, should be highlighted on top. And as you can see now, I'm just sticking the little crystal art pebbles to the paste as well. And they are going to be stuck there. But with the little fancy bow. I actually used glue. Let me clean this one. Oops, sorry. Here's the wire part. Let's take a length. And then I just did 2 loops. Then treat them almost like they were an actual bow. Just turn it, twirl it, so it makes up some kind of bow-like thing, like that. And then let's curl the edges around a paintbrush, for example, just to give it a bit more dimension. Then I'm cutting the ends off to have a fresh, clean cut there. And then this will be here. But after painting, let's move this aside for a while because I'm a bit hesitant to use the heat tool. And let's do the other ones. That's still drying, so let's jump to that one. Now I need a stand. Like I said, these are just a paper roll. So for that one, a few twirls of twine. First, again, the egg is painted with the metallic paint. Oh, the color was something white pearl. Here we go. You could use the same technique with like a vase or even with canvas. Just adding a teeny tiny touch of something to it. Then let's adhere the flower. I'm using a regular craft glue for this one. No. And then the Opal Magic one, but the right one, not that one. Okay, now I missed, well, there it is, sorry. Misplaced one, but I haven't. And again, I'm using the paint as adhesive, so needing to work a bit fast. Depending if you have a really wet brush, you might need a couple of layers on top of the hot glue, because if you have a wet brush, the flour, or sorry, the glue tends to resist the paint a little bit, even though it's acrylic based. So you might need a couple of layers. Oh, come on, there's no hot glue coming. Just giving it some pink shine. Here we go. Teeny tiny touches of pearly pink. And then I add a bit extra paint for the micro beads to attach. Again, you could use then a gel on top, but you can just sprinkle micro beads on top of the wet acrylic paint without having to deal with two mediums. Some up to the center and some around. And then two finishing touches, as you can see. Here's the original one. There's the crystal art pebbles again. This time I'm using just glue to adhere them. Any kind of glue that dries transparent will do. And a little hint, when you're adding it, you can then turn the pearl around so the adhesive is kind of spread evenly underneath. Because if you just stick it, it might not be evenly spread. And as it's clear and see-through, then the difference of the thickness of the layer might show in the end product. So just a couple of swirls, that usually helps. And to finish the egg, I'm using the other color of Opal Magic. This is rose gold. So use that as a palette. Just a few touches to the flower and then some splashes. As this is one of the kind of older series, the gold is not that, let me say, overpowering. But you can see teeny tiny speckles of golden when it dries. It's not a huge contrast, but gives a little bit extra to the egg. So that one's that. Really easy, just 1, 2, 3 and done. But it's about the kind of products. When you know the products, you can do simple projects because the products do the work for you. For example, to me, the Opal Magic ones are really easy because they are such a gorgeous product, give such a beautiful shine on their own. So I don't have to do much, as you can see. It's just a few little details. And for this egg, as you can see, it's almost the same, just that the color of the flower is different. And this one is just the hot glue, so it's pretty boring and ugly. But let's make it more pretty with Opal Magic paint. It's not completely dried yet. Let me dry it, get it colored, even though it's a bit moving around. But I'm sure you get the idea anyway, even though it's a bit shifty. You could naturally color the flower embellishment before adding, but I also added some touches to the pebbles, so it's easier to do it again with just one go to everything. And then let's add the bow. Not your maybe typical bow, but I love using the wire because you can do such fun shapes with it. Like that. Again, I'm using craft glue, which dries clear. So after it's dried, it will look similar as this. So that's those. And then just one more. Put these away. I said this would be easy and snap. So it's, again, craft egg painted with the white pearl metallic paint. Then I added, let me see if I can show it to you. There's some Opal Magic wax on this one. Can you see that a teeny tiny hint of pattern there? Where is my stencil? Here. This is from the Stick and Style. So especially with this kind of, I wouldn't say difficult, but a challenging surface, as it's round, dimensional. The Stick and Style stencils are handy as they have the adhesive at the back. So I'm just applying the wax, and it gives this little hint of blue to the egg. I'm not sure if you can see it. Yes, the camera picks it just a hint of pattern, nothing too precise. Now the optimal would be that I would wait until the wax is completely dry. It takes about maybe 5 minutes, because now I might ruin the pattern, but let's still go forward. I need double-sided tape and then the trim. This egg has its kind of belt from this pretty trim set from Memory Hardware. This is Antoinette. So about how much? You just right there. You could use the craft glue, but you can also use double-sided tape to get that little belt in place. I'm just adhering the adhesive to the ribbon, and then a couple. About there. Here we go. And I'm hiding the, what is this? The seam. Sorry, I'm lost for words today again. Seam under everything, like all the embellishments coming on top. This one is almost dried. Not completely, but almost. And then we need a flower. These flowers are from Love something. Sharon, can you help me out? Well, oh gosh, I did check them before. Well, anyway, item 631369. But if you want to check, it's in my blog and in the description or one of the comments when announcing the show. So just a couple of flowers. They are kind of the highlight. First I was thinking just adding the flowers, but every other egg had the self-made embellishment, so this should have one as well. So I added this one, but made it a bit different by using the white gesso, so it's a matte version compared to the shiny ones that the other have. Naturally, you could use gel medium for the adhering everything, but this one dries a bit quicker here in Finland. So a couple of flowers, and then to match it to the rest, let me make a little setting for it as well. Matching it to the rest, again using the diamond version of the art pebbles. So the three of them make a set because they have the similar elements on them. And again, I'm turning the pearl or the pebble a bit when I adhere it, so the glue is spread evenly. And after it dries, it will then look better, maybe, than with just adding it on top. So here we go. Let's pair them up. These two, then these two, and the pink ones. Which one is your favorite? The flowery one, or the glittery one, or the pink one? I used to say that I'm not a glittery person, but, well, Finnabar has got me changing my mind, so I'm thinking the glittery one is my favorite of the three. Naturally, I did this with pink tones, kind of just white and pink, but by changing the color of the paint, you can make them any color you like. Or if you want something bolder, you can use the metallic paints and make them more pop of color, whatever suits your home decor during Easter time. So thank you so much for coming today. I hope you enjoyed. If you have any questions, please just add a comment, and I'll be just, oops, sorry, didn't hold. This is why you should use gel medium and not craft glue. But yeah, I'll be answering if there's any comments just after the show. Thank you so much for coming. Bye bye. Kiitos kaikille. Moi moi. Kiitos. And thank you, Sharon. Bye bye.